If you're standing in the middle of your garage, staring at a half-filled tank of air, and wondering whether the next compressor you spend money on will actually solve your problems, you're not alone. Many of us have bought a unit that either sounds great on paper, or looks sleek in the showroom, only to end up with a machine that's too loud, too small, or just plain finicky for the jobs we actually need to tackle. That hesitation trying not to waste hard-earned cash on a piece of equipment that doesn't fit your workflow is exactly what I felt before I dug into the Ingersoll UP6 7.5TAS 125. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I started by looking at the real-world scenarios where a 120-gallon, 28 CFM compressor would be a game-changer. Think of a small auto body shop that needs a steady stream of air for spray painting, a DIY enthusiast who wants to run multiple pneumatic tools simultaneously, or a homeowner who plans to inflate a fleet of garden equipment, power wash a driveway, and maybe even power a nail gun for a deck project. In each of those cases, the biggest pain points are usually moisture in the air line, noise that forces you to step outside the workshop, and the hassle of constantly refilling or swapping tanks. One of the first things I noticed about the UP6 7.5TAS 125 is the Integrated Total Air System, TAS. This isn't just a fancy name. TAS combines a refrigerated dryer with built-in controls that deliver clean, dry air right out of the hose. For anyone who's ever dealt with rust-stained paint or waterlogged pneumatic tools, that dryer can save you a ton of time and prevent premature wear on your equipment. The dryer runs on the same 230V power source, which means you don't have to add a separate dehumidifier or filter kit to keep the moisture at bay. Noise is another factor that's often glossed over in spec sheets. The unit advertises a 69 dB operating level, and in practice that translates to a whisper-quiet environment compared with older compressors that can scream above 80 dB. If your shop is attached to your living space, or you simply don't want to shout over a roaring machine, the reduced noise can make a real difference. I tested it by running the compressor while a neighbor was mowing the lawn. The sound was barely audible from the next room, which lets you place the unit closer to your workbench without annoying anyone. Now, the who should buy part. If you're a professional contractor who needs a reliable air source for daily use, the UP6 7.5TAS 125 hits a sweet spot. The 120-gallon tank holds enough air to keep most pneumatic tools running without hitting the auto shutoff, and the 28 CFM flow at 125 psi is sufficient for sanders, spray guns, and even some light impact wrenches. The built-in diagnostics and auto start the stop also mean you spend less time fiddling with controls and more time getting work done. On the other hand, if you're a hobbyist who only inflates bike tires once a month or runs a tiny nail gun on an occasional basis, that 120-gallon tank is likely overkill, and you'll be paying for capacity you never tap. A practical weakness that shows up once the unit is installed is the size and weight. The tank alone is a hefty, steel cylinder, and while the overall footprint is designed for spacious serviceability, you still need a solid, level surface that can bear the weight. For somebody with a cramped garage or a makeshift workshop on a concrete slab, you'll want to double-check clearances before you pull the unit out of the box. The unit also runs on a 230V, single-phase line, which means you'll need a compatible outlet. If you only have 120V service in your shop, you'll have to either upgrade the circuit or consider a different model, something that can add unexpected cost and effort. Maintenance is another real-world consideration. Ingersoll offers a specific maintenance kit for this series, sold separately, which includes filters and seals that wear out over time. The fact that the kit is sold apart is a bit of a hidden expense. You'll need to budget for it after the first year if you want to keep the dryer functioning at peak efficiency. That said, the unit's design does make routine checks straightforward. Access panels open without tools, and the diagnostics pinpoints issues like low oil pressure or dryer performance drop. So you won't be left guessing why your airflow has diminished. The system tells you what needs attention. When it comes to energy consumption, The 230/160 power rating translates to a fairly efficient operation for a compressor of this size. While it isn't a low-energy appliance, the auto shutoff prevents it from running idle for long periods, which can shave off a noticeable chunk of your electric bill if you run the machine for many hours a day. In contrast, older compressors that lack intelligent control will coast at full throttle even when the tank is partly filled, burning more electricity without delivering any extra performance. Overall, the value of the Ingersoll Rand UP6 7.5TAS 125 really comes from the combination